Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about wants versus needs. And what I mean by this is simple. If you have children, a truck with only one front seat isn't going to cut it. You need a truck with 4 doors. If you're trying to pull a 7,000-pound camper, you're not going to do it with a Honda Civic. You're going to need some sort of a truck. Those are the type of considerations I'm talking about. No, obviously I'm using exaggerations to try to get my point across, but I think you understand where I'm coming from. It doesn't matter if you're building a vehicle like I am, or I will be once I start, or you're buying something that you're going to take out on the weekends. The exercise is still the same. You need to sit down and figure out, what is it I want? What is it I need? The answers to those questions will decide which way you go. I've redone my vehicle camper in 3 different times. I've redone the design I'm working on now at least 4 times. I spent the last 3 weeks ripping it all apart again simply because I've made other changes. Changes I'm going to be making videos on as soon as the parts show up. But it took me a better part of a week and a half just to rip everything down and redraft everything. Now, I'm not using a computer. I don't have AutoCAD. I'm doing it all by hand on graph paper. So it takes a while, especially when you have to redo your box and start from scratch on your electrical. So before you even get started, what do you need to have? For me, I needed a diesel engine. I will not even look at a vehicle that has a gas engine, because for me, gas was no-go. For others it might be okay, but for me it just didn't work. 4 doors. Why 4 doors when I travel by myself? Well, as most of you know, I've got a German Shepherd. She needs some place to lie down. In my car, she lies down across the back seat. I'm taking the back seats out and coming up to just about where the window cranks are. I'm putting in a platform. Underneath there, I have lockable storage. Above there, I've got Priya's mattress, and that's her quarters. Lockable storage is very, very important when you're designing a vehicle, because you don't have much storage to begin with. So you need every inch of space you've got to work with. My living quarters are 8 feet long and 7 feet wide. 7 feet high. And when you get inside, you're not 84 by 84. You're 80 inches wide, 80 inches high, and 92 inches long, because you lose the walls. That puts even more pressure on you. Again, you have to figure out what I need. If you're building something for just you, that's one thing. But if you have a partner, then you have to sit down with your partner and say, what are your needs? And you have to be prepared to make compromises. You may not be able to take 100 pounds of tools with you, and your wife may not be able to take 50 pairs of shoes. You got to find a balance somewhere in the middle. That's not easy to do at the best of times. Ask anybody who's married. I've been there, I've done that. I knew the routine. Even now that I'm by myself, I'm still having to say, do I really need this? Well, I'd like it, but no, does it fit? I've said in other videos, I've literally taken graph paper and taped all the lines together so that they match up, and I've actually scaled out my entire truck. a 1/4 inch to an inch. And like 8 to 10 pieces of graph paper to get it to work. And then you just draw in where everything goes. And what you've got to work with is what you've got to work with. Those are considerations that you absolutely have to make. What do I need versus what do I want? Sometimes the wants take priority over the needs. I need to have a way to have a shower. Well, why can't you have a shower outside? I have my little pop-up privacy tent. Yeah, that works real well. But I don't work very well with cold showers. So I need a way to heat the water up. What about using a bug sprayer? That works real well. I've got one downstairs. I actually set it up one day and went to use it. Don't ever poo-poo that idea. It works very, very well, and you don't use a ton of water. You'd be surprised how little water you actually use. My bug sprayer tank only holds 2.5 gallons, and I used maybe half of that. And then probably another gallon to rinse with because it's all soapy water in there. But you see my point, right? The fact that I'm decided to buy a 3,600 watt on-demand shower head heater unit like they have here, going to give me great warm showers, but it comes at a cost. And if you're going to make those sort of sacrifices, you have to make those costs and accept what those costs demand. So start making a list. I have to have this. I have to have this. I have to have this. You don't have to have a toilet. I know some people that don't. Some people have a 5-gallon bucket with a plastic bag in it, and that's what they use when they go for a dump. It works. I have a porta potty. Some people have cassette toilets. I don't have a black water tank. I have only a gray water tank. My gray water tank is 40 gallons, and my fresh water tank is 55. With a 20-gallon water tank, which is what I had in my camper, you're pulling water every 2 days. And if you're on the road, you don't want to be having to go and find someplace to get water every 2 days. Those are the sort of things that you have to work on. What do I need? How long am I going to go? How am I going to do this? So start making up your lists. I want to have this. I need to have this. I have kids. I've got to have a place to put them. They have to get seat belted in. They have to be comfortable. Which means some of these trucks that have like the little half door, or you flip the front seat forward and crawl into the back, they're awful. They really are. How would you like as an adult have to sit back there for 8 or 9 or 10 hours? And you can't do it, don't expect your little ones to. Okay, it just isn't going to work. As a father, I know, been there, done that. So make your list of what I have to have. Again, one of the things that I am not carrying because of all the problems involved, is propane. No propane means I have to have either my little Coleman stove or induction, and I carry both. That's what I mean by making choices. So think about that for a while. Talk to your partner and say, what do we really need? And then build yourself some wiggle room. If you can get away with an 8-foot camper, but you can afford to buy a 10-footer, buy the 10-footer because you're going to appreciate those extra inches. Remember, every inch counts. Space is at a premium, especially if you're living in it full time like I will be. So with that, guys, try to have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Good night.